welcome back to IC Podcast, where we explore the latest advances, innovations, and insights in ophthalmology. It's your host, Hazel, and today we have the incredible privilege of speaking with two amazing individuals whose work sits at the intersection of science, innovation, and one of medicine's most inspiring dreams, the dream of restoring the gift of sight. Last week, we had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Robin Ross of Global Retina Institute and Red Rover Ventures during our pilot episode, and we're very happy to have her back with us today. Dr. Ross, welcome back. It's so wonderful to have
Thanks.
you with us again. And joining us for
Well,
the
we're
first
excited to
time
have
is a
Dr.
very special
Cusumano.
guest. Yes, Doc. I'm very excited as much as you are. Um, our very special guest, all the way from Rome, Italy, Professor Dr. Andrea Cusumano, a renowned ophthalmologist, researcher, and international leader in the field of vision science. He is a researcher in ophthalmology in the University of Rome, Tor Vergata, an APL professor at the University of Bonn, and an adjunct professor in Weill Cornell Medicine in New York. For more than 40 years, Professor Cusumano had dedicated his career to clinical care, research, and teaching with a particular focus on diseases that can lead to vision loss. His work explores some of the most fascinating and promising areas in ophthalmology, which includes gene therapy, molecular genetics, optogenetics, optopharmacology, and artificial vision. But what makes his journey especially remarkable is that his passion began when he was just a child, and we will stay tuned to learn more about that. The experience that inspired a dream that has stayed with him throughout his life to return vision to the blind. And today, he continues to pursue that dream by bringing together science, technology, and personalized medicine in the hope of changing the future of patients with vision-threatening diseases. Professor Cusamano, it is with great pleasure and honor to have you with us for today for the first time. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you. Nice meeting you all today. So it's my pleasure to be here, and for me, it's a great pleasure to be here with Robin, who had a massive and impressive chapter to my career recently because we are planning to work together in a very short time with the Africa project and extending not only in Africa, but probably trying to to cross the bridge, uh, not only the geographical bridge, but also the cultural, the religious, and the social bridge. So together will be a great opportunity for us and for the patients. Yeah, we are.
Can you tell us about navigated laser and when you first used it and your thoughts that ran through your head? When I first saw it, I thought this is an opportunity to treat people, continue care with greater efficiency and more precision, and eventually bring this to our underserved patients.
Absolutely. So in the past, I would say an engineer, a really visionary engineer, designed and planned to develop a laser, a navigated laser that could be used transcontinental to treat patients. The project was more or less ready a decade before, even more, but they did not have enough technological advances to move forward. Finally, they did it, and I had the pleasure to be introduced to Robin. And for the first time, I would say for the first time in the world, we were able to do in real time to treat patients between the United States, in Scottsdale, in Arizona, and Rome, in the headquarters of the Macula Angioma Foundation, which is a non-profit organization devoted to improve research, to perform research by itself, disseminating the results, and really breaking the conventional rules, redefining the borders of ophthalmology. And we were moving very different way. So the first time we treated patients with Robin, sharing patients with vascular diseases like venous occlusion of the retina and treating ischemic areas after surgery. We moved forward together to bring this technology and to build up in Africa, in Tanzania, the first hub for the Africa. been placed in Dar es Salaam with the help of the local ophthalmologist Nelson Mandela Swine, that has been trained by Robin in the US and also now in different countries, not only in Arizona, for vitreoretinal surgery and also for the navigated laser. Robin's plan and my plan is to build a permanent class or the permanent hub for training African ophthalmology, not bringing or giving them only the technology, but bringing them together in an international chain of very prestigious, I would say, and well considered ophthalmologists. That we don't want to help them. We want to make them ready to help their patients and definitely in a short time, probably improving the technology and help also our patients in Europe and United States. So, Robin, I believe that this is our first plan, and you know that we are already thinking to the next generation of telemedicine. I have to share in a minute our experience that we were able to do in Ukraine recently in a very nice paper published in Nature in March 2026. We built up for the first time the concept of um, telemedicine or teletherapeutic corridors in wartime. We were able to have one laser active in Kiev and to treat from Rome, from our foundation patients in Ukraine, providing to our colleagues and the patients which are really suffering a lot of this incredible war, not ending war, a chance to be again, even if there is a no-flight zone, in contact with the entire world. This time was Italy. Next time will be Robin in Scottsdale. But in any case, they are not alone and they will be part of our treatment and continuous upgrade in our specialty.
What was
So,
exciting about that paper, Andrea, is it also showed the possibility. We have the International Red Cross is tasked with health emergencies in large populations, and there's a course that they teach called HELP, and it not only deals with wartime situations, but refugee situations, infectious disease situations like Ebola, where I worked with for
Yeah,
5 years. So remote teleguidance, I think, is the wave of the future. You even will be with surgery, being able to assist with surgery in real time with no lag in movements. I think those are in the next 5 years will be status quo, will be the norm.
yeah. Robin, that's correct. But I'm telling you something. I'm so pleased that we did the first step together
Yes,
because we both like to be the first, not the best, but at least the
the
first.
the first. We like
Hopefully, in
to
the
pu-
yeah,
we'd like to push that innovation curve. I'm sure you were in
yeah,
line in Italy getting the first iPhone.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as you know, and I think that we also interested for your patients and colleagues. I've been deeply involved in reversing blindness since 1989 in Bonn, in Germany. And
wow.
today we had a very interesting conversation. So basically, we finished a conference call at 2:30 today with Frank Horst, who is the chairman in the University of Bonn, previous chairman also of Retina, and he is the principal investigator in Europe for the subretinal microchip Prima. That is a new generation of how to say retinal prosthesis as is a subretinal microchip, which is already on the market in Europe now. So we are able to, since 1 month or less than 1 month, to officially implant in patients that lost completely the central vision for the advanced form of age-related motor neuration of geographic atrophy. And we will explain in detail in a symposium in Retina in October how it works, which are the limitations, which are the benefits. And I've been entitled to give a lecture on rehabilitation and one lecture in imaging. And I really hope that the other colleagues will start implanting Prima, knowing the limitation, but the enormous advantages of bringing back with a certain type of vision, even if it's an artificial vision, patient that couldn't see absolutely not light perception in the center of the eye. So it's another technology that I would say conquer me this project many decades ago, 36 years ago, or even more. It's a long time.
Well, I
Wow.
think defining which patients are going to be the best candidates, democratizing the technology is always very, very difficult. And hearing Europe's plan to see which patients are the best candidates, what technology is used to determine that, and how to get them the chip in the subretinal space and begin the rehabilitation with the glasses. Do you think the chip will change in the next 5 years, or do you think the glasses will change?
The glass is changed already. And in fact, the next generation of glasses is a really easy glasses. Everything is included. There is the camera included. There is the macro projector, the infrared projector. Then there is the microprocessor, the computer that analyze and elaborate the images. So the glass is already done. Now, the chip, of course, if you consider the iPhone that we have 5 years ago was quite different. This is my daughter, by the way. This is Federica, living in New York. And now
Wow.
she's hidden somewhere in Italy, in Sardinia, I think. But it changed. If we compare the technology in the last 5 years, 5 years ago, the iPhone is obsolete. I say iPhone, it could be Android or whatever. So with the microchip, the history is a little bit different. Now we have some severe limitation of the visual field, which is just 10 degree, with a 2.2 millimeters microchip, with a 30 micro, 30, so one third of the hair thickness. The next generation that we already implanted in on animals in Alameda in South California, near San Francisco, moved from 2.2 to 3 per 5. It means a little bit more than 30 degrees. That is a huge, huge change. And at the same time, we are improving the number of the pixels to have a higher resolution. And I think that within probably 3 years, we will be in a face recognition area, which is what is really patients demand. But, but at the same time, which is very important, we, for the first time, enter into a huge and not defined area of the patient treatment. That means we have implanted the first patient with a Stargardt disease, and we will move to other inherited retinal disease. This is exactly what was my goal from the beginning, not only to treat geographic atrophy, but to treat patients that are really going to be completely stopped somewhere with no light perception, but not only in the center, but even the periphery. So I think that that will be a very impressive uh, area of for the patient's rehabilitation, um, meaning that we can improve the quality of sight and their quality of life in a very short time.
That's really exciting because I think we don't consider the Stargardt's patients, even though they're juvenile macular degeneration. We have a number, and just hearing that will give them great hope. And I think that the exciting thing for our U.S. patients, even though the U.S. is behind in clinical trials and FDA approval, it still is a new era for them.
I think you will move pretty fast.
Okay.
And I think you have great institution, as you know, we cannot really consider United States not to be the first generally. In Europe, there is a competition. Sometimes we're the best, and or is Asia, as Asia, the same thing. But I think that you have, for instance, a headquarter in Pittsburgh with Jose Sahel, which is an incredible engine for this technology and for the research. Then you have Stanford University with Daniel Palanker, who was the inventor of the microchip. I worked with Daniel since probably 17 years, maybe even more. We were really close together. So I'm sure perhaps there is a Bascom Palmer, so many institutions that have been involved, but I think that just Pittsburgh and Stanford are enough to promote, hopefully, I wouldn't say fast track approval, but a very hard and intensive consideration by the FDA to give permission to implant in the States. So I think you won't wait too long for that, hopefully.
What do you say to your patients who say, should I wait for the next generation of chip if I can afford it and get it today? It's a tough question, isn't it?
No, it's tough. The concept is a very appropriate question. I'm so happy to answer. For the moment, we have to consider that the implant will work if the inner retina is working. It's not under impressive remodeling, means negative remodeling. We know that if the inner retina doesn't have any signal, basically plays the same thing, same role that happened to the kids for newborn prematurity. If there is no signal, the visual cortex is replaced by other part of cortex, different function. So of one side, my suggestion would be, okay, well, if you wait maybe 3, 4 years more, you will have a better generation of chip. But wait a minute. If you do not give a signal to the retina, which is already under massive progressive inner retina degeneration, maybe you won't have the inner retina able to respond to a better microchip. And due to the fact that the microchip could even be exchanged, I probably would suggest to the patients to undergo surgery now and wait maybe 4, 5, even 6 years to make an exchange with the next generation. Could it be the second generation? Could even be the third generation? But I would not skip the possibility because maybe it will be too, the distance will inhibit forever to have a processing of the signal if the inner retina is gone.
Because
It's
that
yeah,
stimulation will be active during
yeah,
that time period. I
yeah,
guess we don't really
yeah,
think about that. It's kind of like a muscle. If it
yeah,
sits dormant, it atrophies.
yeah. It's
Yes.
like a cortex. And
So,
I'll tell you something. We work also with other university. We work also with a very interesting group of Fudan University in China, and we have a couple of plans to prove that this is reported by many. But we have also developed some research project to prove this one. And if that is the case, and if our research will provide hard data, then I would really press patients to undergo the surgery as soon as possible.
That's great. Is there anything you have your patients doing in preparation? Because patients ask me, is there anything I can do, doc? Do I take the AREDS vitamins, eat a healthy diet, all those usual things, but is there anything that you would say would prepare them for being recipient of the chip? Cataract surgery before they do it, or cataract surgery
Absolutely,
after
yeah.
they do it?
No,
Cataract surgery.
cataract surgery. First thing we consider that we have the permission today only for implanting the a patient for geographic atrophy. We should consider that these type of patients are at least, I would say, over maybe 70, something like that, because we're not talking about age-related macular degeneration. We're talking about an advanced form. I would say probably 70, maybe 75, depends on. So most of the patients had already cataract surgery or need to have cataract surgery done because if they don't have the cataract surgery done, the first thing it may impair the implantation of the subretinal microchip physically, it means optically. Second thing, the camera and the micro projector that is built inside the glasses won't be able to project defined images onto the microchip. So there will be limitations. So it will become basically more or less mandatory to undergo surgery, cataract surgery before. So the other thing that I would suggest, but only to the patient which are really in a pre-implantation phase, to start rehabilitation in advance, because rehabilitation it's time consuming, but we know perfect rehabilitation the data won't be um, good enough to satisfy the patient's request and expectations. So the patients that are with Italy, for instance, in Rome, in my University of Vergata, our rehabilitation center, which is a regional center, probably is, I would say, I shouldn't say that, is rehabilitation center number one in Italy. That's for sure. I shouldn't say that, but it is. We prepare the patients before with the biofeedback. So we want to have them prepared before the implantation. That will speed up dramatically the post-implantation rehabilitation process. So I would say if somebody is really considering to have the implantation, the microchip implanted, first it has to go through a long, extensive, exhaustive discussion with the doctor because he has to be prepared to undergoing an intensive rehabilitation process. The family members have to consider that we will invest time for improving their, their relatives' daily life, but it has a cost, not in terms of money, but in terms of energy. It's time consuming. They have to bring the patient initially to the doctors, but the science group, which is leading the project, made a very impressive decision. They will bring their rehabilitation team to the patient's house. So after a short training in the university or in the hospital or in the private center where the implant will be performed, initially just in the public health system, they will send from Germany or from France a special team of doctors or of optometrists trained in rehabilitation directly to the patient, so that after they can continue doing in the web with the internet and in a long distance after, of course, an initial training inside the hospital. So it's a big change.
Do you think there will be a group of low vision specialists, rehabilitation specialists that will set up remote training for people around the
Yeah,
world who
absolutely.
seek? Okay,
It's already existing.
okay.
They already have. They have in Paris, and we work with them. And we have patients that are continuing to have rehabilitation home remotely. We assist them. But what surprised me, because it was such a smart idea, is to consider in also, it will be probably a quite expensive chip, but the build up in the entire, how to say, offer also the rehabilitation on site. Not on site, it means in the patient's house. That is a very important thing. So that the patients know exactly, but not only the patient, that the health system could be German, Italian, French, English, or Holland, or whatever. They know what they can pay for having one patient, not just assisted, but maybe being again partially integrated as a production life and requiring less assistance by the family members. So it's a comparison also between cost, expenses, and benefits, because unfortunately, if we should consider the ethical point of view, then all the patients that need to have or may have an advantage of the microchip, from my point of view, we should be able to support them in any case. But you know that sometimes the good expectation don't go together with the health system. So we have to cut expenses. So we have to prove that the initial investment it's good also from, I would say, not only from the ethical and social point of view, but the socio-economic point of view. And once more, what I have to highlight for this conversation, but I think makes a big difference, I'm a scientific consultant of science. I've never been paid from a single dinner of flight, and I'm an independent scientific consultant. But if they invite me for dinner, I will go because I like to dine in there. For dinner, I will accept, but just for dinner.
So to round things off, can you tell us about the acronym SETE in Italian and THIRST in the US for navigated laser? What are those principles and how does it
I,
relate to soccer or football?
yeah. Well, you know very well, Robbie, because we set up this idea together. We decided to involve the people that are in a very good situation. That means also from a health point of view, um, for their experience, their success, and we were also considering what would be always our interest of the entire world. And we consider the sport, things about Olympic Games, World Championships, and whatever. And I consider, from our point of view, because we are European, we play soccer. And the United States, you play baseball, American football, maybe baseball is one of the leader. So from my point of view, from our side, we were able to bring in our project, which is SETE, which is for Italian, is the acronym is S for sport, E for education, T for technology, and the other E is for ethics. And you have the first program in the United States, what we together in your office in Scottsdale, we decided together to build out this acronyms for US first and for Italy SETE. And I was able to conquer, I would say, the interest of the the champion of Italy from the soccer, which is Napoli Calcio. And I just returned from Napoli Calcio maybe less than 1 week ago. We make an exchange. We perform the training when we examine all the players, and altogether were more than 60 or 70 of the group, and they give permission to use Napoli Calcio as one of the sponsor of the project that is being also very generously sponsored by another Italian foundation, which is the Nando and Elsa Peretti Foundation. And I always have to thank this foundation that permit Robin and I to receive enough grants to run the project. At the same time, being very honest, I'm always very open and to receive additional funds because we made an estimation of the project. But you know that when you build an apartment, when you renew your apartment, the architect give you a number. But at the end of the game, when you have the apartment renewed, the number generally exceed of 25-30% the expectation. So we're continuing to ask support of our patients, and I think that Robbie should do the same with the foundation in the US to be sure that we can finish the project in the best appropriate way and to continue with the next generation of our mobile projects.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cusumano. Hazel, did you have any other questions for Dr. Cusumano? I know we were talking about your, I think 17 years you've worked at the Vatican as a consultant and done community service. Do you have anything to say about your work there?
Definitely. I just sent today a couple of emails to the actual governor, which is a very nice nun called Raffaella Petrini, and of the previous governor of the Vatican, which is Cardinal Vergez. And we were discussing plans. In our plans is also our SETE project. I discussed also in the past with the Secretary of State, Cardinal Parolin. And now we will continue doing work. And as you know, there was a certain, I would say, few discrepancies recently in some projects that are running or between the Vatican supporting huge number of refugees and whatever, and some other policies from the United States. So I think that we will merge on one ethical project independently from some discrepancies that sometimes we can find between different states. But when the goal is so impressive and the ethical point of view, it's so precise, easy to be understood, the good thing will be realized with the help of both different countries.
And Professor Cosumano, what do you believe is the biggest gap between the modern ophthalmology, what modern ophthalmology can achieve, and what patients around the world actually have access to?
Well, I think that as Robin told you before, we are moving into practical uh, surgery, not only telemedicine. We have been the first for making therapeutic navigated laser possible, but others are working in the system. I can tell you something that fortunately, China, with huge numbers, it's doing very well as well. So I think that the China is very welcome to join what is already been done because it's a country of impressive energy, technology, and initially it was sophisticated, but maybe not well established. Now, if I had to consider a strong partner, well, I consider China be equivalent to United States and Europe, but it's more eager to conquer the position. So what we do with China in 2 weeks could be achieved in Europe, United States, maybe in 2 months. So I think it's a
Wow.
good way for also for us, European and United States ophthalmologists and technicians and engineers, to redefine the borders because we are the competitor, but we can just help everybody to do better in a very open competition, as it always has to be between partners working scientifically for the people. Because the patients, for all of us, is our primary goal.
Yes,
Well
Professor. And
said.
Professor, since you've dedicated so much of your career to the idea of restoring vision, how close are we making to that dream into reality?
Very close. I have to be very precise and in order not to give wrong expectation to blind people. But this morning I had a very interesting conversation with Eduardo Fernandez, who is professor of an ophthalmologist based in Alicante, Elche, an ophthalmological group. He's doing more the engineering group part, and we have implanted. Sorry, I they permitted me to join their program 10 years ago, and I work in the past also with patients with no eyes at all, implanting not the subretinal microchip, but the cortical prosthesis. So patients with no eye, or using a camera cable connected with the cable that brings the cortical prosthesis into the visual cortex. We implanted 5 patients in Spain now. Patient number 4 is a soldier, Ukraine soldier that lost both eyes anatomically due to a Russian grenade. These patients with an implant with no eyes was able to go around avoiding obstacles and also playing a very little bit of a, I wouldn't say a football game, but hitting the ball and successfully make some couple of goals. Now, after six
Nice.
months, today we have to remove the implant for safety reasons because we have a cable. The cable could be infected. I worked with Gobel in the 2 years, thousand, so in 2001, 2002 in New York and Lisbona, and it could be a risky situation. Now we're moving to wireless. That means if we
Wow.
can do that stuff with wireless, then the project will be successful. We're not expected to have high definition. We are only expected that the patient can have the visual field with very, very,
Mhm.
very low visual acuity, but just to recognize the objects, but being able to move in a surrounding area, especially if it's a known area. We're going now to implant patients number 6 in a very short time. And this is something that is important to know to all the audience, especially to ophthalmologists. Eduardo Fernandez organized for this year the Brain and the Chip Congress that will take place in Alicante. You can already find on the web, if you just dial the brain and the chip, you will have all the information. And our foundation, the same foundation with Robin, is promoting the telemedicine treatment in Tanzania and the hub for the students there. It's supporting the organization and also supporting part of the entire organization of the Congress in Alicante because we are partnering, we are good friends, but we're both very dedicated to our field. And Eduardo is a scientist working for more than 40 years with Norman in the States, the University of Utah in the past. Now he's since many years he's back in Spain and is the most refined center that you can find in the world. I know that Elon Musk is working on the same field with Daniel Adams, who is his PI. We're very good friend with Daniel, and they will be successful because they have a huge number of engineers working on the project. They have huge amount of money that can spend for rehabilitation blind person. Uh, we have much more experience, and we are working together. We are competitor, but very honest and cooperative competitor. And we are leader now with the salvation and microchip. What means Eduardo and me as an adjunct to his project, also in the cortical prosthesis, they will probably be the leader within 2 3 years because they can do what for us as European is impossible because of the lack of the funding that they have. So we hope that they will be more successful than everybody else to give to the patients benefits in a very short time. They will do. We will do together maybe.
Lastly, Dr. Cusumano, if someone had unlimited resources, what kind of resources could they put to this project of artificial vision and truly bend the needle to bring restored vision to hundreds of thousands of patients? What kind of monetary amount would be in your dream bucket? Because I'm a
I,
visual board person. I always am
I tell,
envisioning
yeah,
what can be possible.
I tell you something. Um, for us, we are used to be very careful in investing our financial resources.
Mhm.
So we are very focused. We have projects which are tailored on the amount of money that we have. So I think that we are talking and discussing about maybe $1 million, maybe more. But I think that Elon Musk will invest maybe $1 billion in the project. And nevertheless, hopefully he will do, and I'm sure he will do. But I think that our experience, which is the evolution of 40 years of very hard and honest work on the field, can is able to have, I would say, probably comparable results with 100 of them money that they are ready to invest for their project because they have to start from zero. And we do not start from zero, we start from 40 years of different ophthalmologists that are working in the field.
Well, I think it's exciting that so many different artificial vision pathways are merging and working together, collaborating to try to democratize this quicker. And
Yeah,
I think that's the shout out I would say. Congratulations for launching the New England Journal of Medicine, bringing that to everyone's attention with the landmark article that you all published on the subretinal chip, and now moving forward with how to implement this quickly.
yeah,
And
we work a lot. And as I told you today, we have this very interesting meeting with you now with the podcast, which is an experience for me. And Robin, if you are there, I'm always so delighted and honored to be next to you. First, the second thing we had a meeting today with uh, 5 or 6 different countries, if you consider from Germany, Holland, UK, US, and France and Germany, whatever. And the same thing we had this morning with Fernando in Spain. So I would say for half of the day, and we took over also patients at the university. We have emergency call, we have consultations. So it was a very intensive day. Now I'm back home, as you can see, and now I'm considered to write something in the same field.
Well, thank you. Hazel,
last
any other?
question for me, Professor Cusumano. I am very much curious if we imagine ophthalmology 10 to 20 years from now. What do you hope will be possible that isn't possible today?
Well, um, the first thing. I hope that one of the technology that are under development, like the gene therapy, ophthalmology, optogenetics, will bring us better results that we are expecting and less effects that we may experience today. The second thing is that uh, technology like telemedicine will really break frontiers. And so I'm expected to have UK colleagues or United States colleagues performing surgery in Italy from their side, at least instructing the robot to perform the surgery in Italy or in Spain or wherever. And the third thing, I think that we have to give more room and space to the non-profit organization which are really doing non-profit, because today big pharma it's is helping patients, but is also helping a lot itself. So I think that we should try to persuade big pharma that in 2026 it's ethically incorrect not to have a section which is for social impact. And I think there should be an obligation and not a plus, an alternative of a spontaneous decision to play a social impact role with the huge numbers of profit that they are currently having. It's is an ethical obligation. It's not a legal obligation, but I would try, even sometimes if I buy a bag of tea, and if I know that they're really supporting a little bit the rainforest, survival, well, I prefer to buy that bag of tea instead of the regular one. So I would say that also among the ophthalmologists and the patients, this concept will grow up. We try to work in a social behavior. It means we need to help each other a little bit, and big pharma can help a lot. In 1 second they can do what Robin and I can do after 3 years of searching the money for supporting the project. Our project, it's in a matter of a second. So I think we have to move all together as ophthalmology in that direction. And I think that we should have in any big congress, you retina, American Academy of Ophthalmology, what already you have American Society of Retina Specialty, you did with the foundation, you invited me to take part. And I was really impressed that you had this movement growing there. But I think in any, even in the Italian Society of Ophthalmology, the German, whatever, we need another room, another space, a special section, definitely present all the time to see what are we doing internationally, what are we doing for our patient, what are we doing for real nonprofit, a real nonprofit, not nonprofit that should support to have a president, a director, a secretary, a car, a driver. No, 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 no. I'm very proud to say that in our small foundation, the Margaret Foundation, there is no a single one who receive a compensation of $1 or one reimbursement for a train or from a coffee, whatever. Whoever want to work for our foundation does it for free. If there is no intention, there are so many other places.
And that's the same with us, Hazel. Red River Ventures, everybody's a volunteer. 100% of the profits go, 100%
Yeah,
of the donations go to education. So we're
that's the place to be.
educating, and that's the place to be because we have no incentive. And I wish Big Pharma would have some social impact in that way. The other thing Dr. Cusumano and I share beyond our nonprofits not taking a dime for administrative or for travel is we both love golden retrievers.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. We do. We do. Wait a
We
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I try to do something now. Do you see anything?
No, not yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Uh, do you see the
Is
camera? Oh, really good.
Dr. Cusumano has a golden retriever that loves his boat and loves water, just like mine. Mine's in the pool.
Wow.
Sorry,
Dr.
that was my
Cusumano's.
fault. Here it is. Maui.
Oh, Maui.
Hi. Hi, Maui. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
and the names of your
you
golden
have.
retrievers?
This is my Sibuto, Sibuto. This is Maui, and this is Mia, my daughter's one.
Ah,
Yeah. I also have two dogs, Professor. I have a mom and a son. It's their name are Trixie and Vanilla.
Oh, that's good. You see that?
and mine is Winston after Winston Churchill. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Ross and Professor Cusumano, thank you both for joining us. This has been a fascinating conversation, not only about the science and technology of ophthalmology, but about the possibility of making better vision and better care accessible to more people around the world. What we've heard today is that the future of ophthalmology isn't simply about developing better technology. It's about making sure that technology reaches the people who need it the most, regardless of geography. And perhaps that is the most powerful idea behind the Transcontinental Laser, that innovation should not stop at any border. Thank you again for both of you for joining us today, and I hope to get to talk to you soon again.
Thank you for the invitation. Sure, we do. Ciao.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Dr.
Ciao,
Kusumano.
everybody.
It's nice to meet
Thank you
you.
for watching. Thank you. Bye bye.